Teachers, do we want more? Yeah, pass these down.
It's a custom to give a tip.
Pass these down.
It's a bit rude to ask for a tip. You feel like you deserve one?
So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome aboard. My name is Stoffel. I will be your guide and captain for the coming 40 minutes. So welcome in Ghent. It's a beautiful day. It's the first in a few weeks, so I'm very happy. We'll make a trip here in the old center. We start on a river called Lys. The source of this river is ahead of us, 225 kilometers further. That's the north of France. It's a region that belonged to Ghent, not to Ghent, but to Flanders during the Middle Ages. There's also a second river in Ghent. It also starts in the north of France. They meet each other about 2 or 3 kilometers behind us. And that's the place where Ghent was founded also in the 7th century. In between the two bridges here used to be the most important harbor of Ghent during the Middle Ages. This was a grain harbor. The grain was produced in France and then sold in Ghent on the marketplace lying here at the other side of the house is at the left of the corn market. You passed it already. The grey house at the left here. It's an old stock house for the grain. It's the oldest here in the surroundings. It was built in 1200. The small house next to it was the tax house, most important house. And then you have two guild houses. Every profession was united and had a house somewhere in the city. The one with the blue door just next to the tax house, Koren Baker's house. This was the guild house of the corn measurers. And then with the boat above the door, House of the Boatman, was sold last year for 1.7 million euro. So during the Middle Ages, this place was the place to be. It still is the place to be once the sun shines. All students come here. They study on their back here. So Ghent has many students also. It's the biggest student city of Belgium. About 70,000 of them. And so you are from somewhere in England. From Scotland, oh, north. That's why you are so pale.
You want to be careful, you catch a tan off me.
A bit further here at the left, the three towers of Ghent. First you see is the St. Bav's Cathedral, the main church of Ghent. Also the place where the painting is, the Adoration of the Mystic Lamb. The one in the middle, that's the old watchtower, the belfry. And the dragon on top there, it turns with the wind. If the wind is strong enough, it weighs 450 kilos. And then you have the St. Nicholas Church, Church of the Boatmen, close to the old harbor. Also the Church of the Prostitutes, always close to the boatmen. This neighborhood here at the left behind the bridge on the little house, this was the red light district in Ghent in the 19th century. Church at the right here is the St. Michael's Church. Oh, Jesus is here too. He's also from the north. He's always in the shade of this big church. It was built, this St. Michael's Church, by the Guild of the Brewers, who were very rich brewers because the quality of water was so bad. So people drank beer instead. 12th, 13th century, they drank about 240 liters here in Belgium, average, also women and children. And then later in the 17th century this became 400 liters.
A week.
After that it went down. Today we drink about 80 liters here in Belgium.
Is that a week or a day? A week or a day?
A year.
A year.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
It's not Scotland.
What's the average consumption in Scotland?
Million.
For sure. Yeah, but I don't know about the beer. Is it good beer? Is it good beer?
In Scotland?
Yeah?
No, we import Belgian beer.
You import Belgian beer, yeah. Because I went a few times to London and what they call beer over there is...
Ale.
We say cat piss. That's what we say. So let's turn the boat. Let's not go to France. We would be able to go to France, but you've only paid for 40 minutes, so it doesn't get you to France. But it's warm enough here. No reason to go there. The grey building at the left here is an old monastery, a Dominican monastery. Was a hospital at first. It was built at the beginning of the 13th century. After 30 years it became a monastery. These monks were chased out of their monastery during the Second War of Religion in the 16th century. Protestants came here, the monks were chased out. The library, one of the biggest in the west of Europe, was thrown into the river. About 30,000 books filled up the list. So people of Ghent, so they say, were able to walk to the other side without getting their feet wet. Today it's a part of the University of Ghent. It's not used to teach, it's a place where PhDs are defended, where congresses are held. The men clean up the water twice a week.
After all that,
So we're back in the harbour now. During the Middle Ages, boatmen in Ghent were divided in two groups. There were the boatmen of Ghent, they were called the Free Boatmen. The house of 1.7 million here at the right was their guild house. Only they were allowed in this harbour. Those free boatmen, they were privileged. And then you had the unfree boatmen. They were not born in Ghent. They could not enter this harbour. They had to go to a second harbour, which we will pass in about 20 minutes from now. The house of these unfree boatmen is here at your left side. This pale house with the green flag below, and if you look good, you can see a golden boat on top there. This one was built later when this privilege was stopped. The unfree boatmen could also enter here. That's the time when they built their beautiful house. This is also the Marriott Hotel, the house with the swans there. The entrance of the Marriott. It's only the facade that's original. The rest was demolished, rebuilt.
Literally built it on no land at all. Watch your heads, guys. Okay. All right. Okay, so do you want sunscreen?
And then we have the old fish mine here at the
Pass it
left.
up anyway. People might want it.
It was recently restored 2 years ago. Today it's a restaurant. But paper is hanging from the window, so I guess something is wrong. Maybe they are, how do you say, fight? They don't have any more money. Broke, they're broke. I think they're broke. Must be something like that. It used to be the fish market in Ghent till 40 years ago. This is the tourist information office, the part that's coming out. So fish was sold in the fish mine, meat was sold in the meat hall here at the right. 15th century building till the 19th century, the only place in Ghent where people could buy meat. To easily control the quality of the meat, everything was put together in one building. This bridge needs to be painted. And then here the left side, a small white house. Above the door, a little statue. That's the Monarchin Peace of Ghent. Maybe you've been to Brussels? Yeah, you've been to Brussels? Well, in Brussels there's a famous statue called Monarchin Peace. It's a little boy, naked boy, and it pees. It's the symbol of the city. Yeah, in Ghent we also have one that's there. But in Ghent it doesn't pee.
Can you tell us why it's a symbol of the city?
Well, in Ghent it's not the symbol of the city. In Brussels, I don't know the actual story. I think it's something about a little boy who saved the city from a burn, from a fire, by peeing out the start of it. I think that's the story. In Ghent it's a bit different.
Pee, folks.
The neighborhood here at the left side is called the Paters Hole. And actually there's a story attached to the Monarchin Peace of Ghent that has to do with this neighborhood. This used to be the place where the tanners lived. And so these tanners, they needed urine to tan the leather. Because there's ammonia inside urine. So little boys would sell their urine to these tanners.
Part-time job?
You had the Monarchin Peace, but you also had another job. Some boys were smart. They put water in their pots. They tried to sell more this way, and so there were people tasting it to see if the quality was good. They're called the piss tasters.
Me, please.
There's something for your CV.
That's a geography club next right in inside.
Mr. Leggy's getting a job. The avenues there.
It is today a very beautiful part of Ghent. Since about 30 years it's full of restaurants, art galleries. It used to be a very poor part of Ghent from the 19th century till about the 70s. The workers who would live in this Paters Hole, the buildings around us was the place where they worked. These were the first factories in Ghent. The very first one was opened in 1800. It was a cotton factory. Ghent was very important for cotton. It was called the Manchester of Europe. At the end of the 18th century, there was a man called Lieven Bouwens who went to England where they already had factories for 50 years at that time. They had some very good machines, and this Liebenbouwens, he stole one of their machines and brought it to Ghent. And so he started his own factory. This was his first factory. So that's one of the reasons why Ghent was the first city in Europe, apart from England, that had factories. And stayed the strongest industrial city till 1860. Today, these buildings are used in a different way, a hotel and offices at the left side, and then restaurants and apartments here at the right.